The book of three holy children, verse 9.
This is in the Apocrypha, right? Gino Jennings, T.D. Jakes, all your little Christian passion snakes, they're not bringing this out. Sister, how you doing? No love for your brother, sister? No love?
Just speed up.
Start up, man. Right, man? Dressed like Wednesday Adam.
Verse 9. And them did is deliver us into the hands of a lawless enemies, most hateful, forsakers of God, into an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world.
Peace, brother. How you doing? How you doing, King? Shalom, King. So, brother, hold on. Bill, me talk with me, brother. So, how you doing, brother? What's your name? Deshaun, right? Brother Jared, man. So, understand, you got that black and mild in your hand, man. You just got over it. Hold on, man. So, I'm going to bring something out to you. Give me, you know.
I'm supposed to be smoking,
so no. So, we're going, so I'm not, like, we need to remind you, right? Because understand, right?
I'm fucking up my purity. I
Hold on, brother. Read this.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 19. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost?
So hold on. So, you know how they like to say in churches, oh, Christ is in the building, Jesus. The book just said, right, that they're reading, that the Spirit of God, the Holy Ghost, is in us. So you know what that shit is? That is a big-ass building that's getting tax breaks.
All right.
That's all that building is. That's a tax-free building. Right. So, but we did. We are gods, but we die like men.
The Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own.
So, these bodies we have, God made them specially for us. Right? Right? Because guess what? They house our soul, right? Which dwells with the Father. So, brother, you love God, man? Now, understand this. Now, give it for me. Right? You know what?
It's Job 11, verse 14. If iniquity be in thy hand, put it far away.
So if sin is in your hand, put it far away. So it's sin to defile your temple, right? Right? So brother, now got to get away, got to stop, got to do away with the smoking, brother. Right? Go away right now. Why not?
Start now.
All praises, all praises. All praises, man, because guess what? Understand, right? If I go, because I want you to think about this, right? Now, they have us work these menial jobs, right? For long hours of little pay, right? So naturally, right, get that oppression rate to wise man, right? Because guess what? That makes you stressed, that makes you, so guess what? Our people, we don't have positive outlets to let that out, right? So what do they market to us? Cigarettes, weed, pornography, right? All types of sin and foolishness. Why? Because guess what? We don't got, look at our communities, right? We so stressed, poor, broken down, that we just like, damn, I need just a little, I need something to go my way. There you go, brother, and that's what it is. The flesh is weak, right? It wars against your spirit.
Right.
It's contrary to another, right? So that's the thing. So read this.
It's the book of Ecclesiastes 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
So if you know what the world is like, right? You understand what's going on, right? Even if you just have a little bit of understanding, right? Because our brothers, we be like, damn, man, like we shouldn't be living like this, right? It gets you tight. So what do brothers do when they get tight? I'm gonna call up my man. He gonna have that deuce for me, right? I'm gonna smoke some loud, right? But listen, right? But this is in terms of our people, right? Our people think, damn, man, they drink from sun up to sun down, right? And this is not how we command to live, right? Because if I look at other communities, right? Say if I go into a rich white community, they're not marketing black and mild to their people. They marketing rehabilitation centers. Right? Yeah, they do. They love it. Yeah, they love it.
Come on, that's it. Hey, shit, you feel me?
Right.
But to me, in my opinion, it's just that white people don't oppress
And that's a powerful point, right? Because guess what? A lot of times, right? Because that is a good point, right? Now, the system has been set up, right, by white oppressors. But understand, we in captivity, right? We in this slavery, in this condition, because we broke God's commandments, right? So guess what? The other nations, right? Edomites, who they're really Edomites, right? Because they're really red people. They're really red. They're not white. White means pure, right? When you look at a so-called white person, you see the blood through their skin? Aren't they like a little pink? Right? So that's really what they are, right? So understand that, right? Hell, right. So really, right? With the Lord, so right, they're like vampires, right? Yeah. So with the Lord, really, what they are, they're like a belt for us, right? When we get out of like a sword, like that Lord, that's exactly the Lord calls them a sword, right? So when we get on the line, we want to break, we want to sin, right? Because you know our people, right? Our king, our people, you know, we get up, we get a little, we lose ourselves, right? Right. Right.
Because we don't deal with our trauma in order for us to become pure, we have to take the curse before us.
So I'm glad you said, brother, that's a powerful statement, right? So brother, so do you understand, so you brought up a very powerful point. We gotta break the curse. So first, so hold up, so how we deal with us, right? So before we get into that, brother, can I ask, what would you identify, what would you call yourself here in this chart right here, right?
Oh man, that's crazy. I wouldn't even know.
Bro,
I think I'm everything.
Nah, you're not it don't
White, black, orange, purple, green, I don't give a fuck.
Brother, you
I'm
black.
a spiritual entity, so I'm everything.
Hold on, brother. Cause you're not orange. Right? You gotta
You understand what I'm saying?
I hear
You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
Each
but
one
brother.
teach one, baby.
Right, but brother, right? So I'm trying to right now. So brother, what was your father, right? Father on this chart. Was he African? What he call himself? African black? Shalom, king. Right. So when you call yourself American black, West Indian, Haitian, what would you call yourself? What would you identify as? All right, so brother, hold on. Let's make brother. Hold on, brother. Now, let's get an understanding.
You looking at me like,
Cause brother, right? Cause let's get an understanding, right? I'll make this even plainer for you, right? If you was going to a job, right? You know, you apply and said you got to check off your race or ethnicity. What would you check off? Others? All right, you're not wrong. Now I see your point. So let's prove this, right? I'm trying to show you your trial, but let's prove that you would be an Israelite, right? Because a lot of people, they say, you know, I'm energy and this, that, and the third, you know, your soul, right? That's what people gotta understand. They talking about their soul, right? That whole energy thing, all that's going into different ideologies and doctrines, right? That's going into the Buddhism, right? The Taoism, the teachings of Babylon, right? But what it really is not this. It's not what the Lord gave us, the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? So you talked about curses, right? So we're going to show you, right, that so I want you to think about the state of our people, right? People here in this chart, right? The American blacks, right? The West Indians, right? People in the Caribbean, right? The Haitians, the Puerto Ricans, so forth and so forth, right? When I read these curses, I want you to think about yourself and them, all right? So read.
Bring it out, my
Deuteronomy 29, verse 1. These are the words of the covenant which the Lord commanded Moses to make with the children of Israel.
Right, so notice, right? Right, so the Lord did a mighty work through Moses, right? That's something we got to specify. It wasn't Moses who freed them, right? It was the Lord who freed them, and Moses was his vessel, right? He was the tool, right? He's a real good tool because we got out of it, right? But notice it said Israel, right? So the Lord is only dealing with Israel, right? So he's only their God, right? So the Lord, the covenant, right? Covenant is just like an agreement, right? That's all it is. Contract, exactly. That's another word for it, a contract.
We all sign contracts.
Right, no, but there's a special contract that the Israelites signed with God, that we and only we are going to keep his commandments. The other nations, they don't know sin because they didn't get the commandments, right? That's why you see, like, you know, in Europe, I mean, they love the pig, man. Right? I used to work in Whole Foods, man. We had a special thing, I forget what it was called, but it was special. You gotta cut it thin. I forget. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it don't matter. But it was hell of expensive, right? They want to cut a certain way, but it's the nasty, filthy pig that we're not even supposed to be touching, right? So read this.
Technically, we're not supposed to eat it all.
We can't eat meat. We can't eat meat. We can't eat meat. So we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that.
All right, this is the book of Deuteronomy 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed.
Right? So the curses are going to be on us till we be destroyed, right? Till we get away. So understand that, right? What's powerful about that statement, it says till we be destroyed. So guess what? The curses, right? We break the law. The curses are going to be on us so heavily that we're going to be destroyed as a people. We're going to forget who we are. We're going to call ourselves by these bywords, right? Now we niggas. Now we spicks. Now we, right? If we break down some of these words, like say, my people from the tribe of Ephraim, right? Puerto Rican just means rich port, right? Right? Puerto riches. So guess what? People, they jack, bought it. Puerto Rico. But all you're doing is calling yourself a rich port. And that's just because when the conquistadors came, they was like, damn, this island is rich. We're about to kill, murder, and rape all these people. Right? So, and then people take pride in calling themselves that. These proverbs and bywords. Right? Right? So that, like I said, that's another doctrine, right? You get into the Ethiopian doctrine, right? That's not us. We're not Hamites. We're Israelites. I know exactly where you're going, brother. We're Israelites, right? We're not Hamites. All right? So let's break down these curses.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So the curses are going to be on us forever. But it also said a sign, right? So this right here, right? It would say something, right? That's a sign. That's how you know it's what? Right? So the curses, we see the curses are on these people. Do you know they're what? Not cursed. They are Israelites. They're the people of God. Right. So read. So just read down, right? Read down. 48.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in wants of all things.
So let's understand that, brother, right? Right. So it's the reason it resonates with you spiritually, right? Because these are the stones that the Lord, right? Each one, you know the whole birthstone thing? Each one represents our tribe. That's what it represents, right? People are here talking about, I like onyx because I'm a Scorpio. That's a false doctrine, right? Really? Exactly. So really your real birthstone will be the birthstone of your tribe. And that stone represents your tribe. So that's astrology. Right. So brother, this is again why I was asking your tribe, right? Because guess what? Each one of us pertain to a tribe. So understand, right? It said we're gonna serve our enemies. So let's go look through history, right? Right? From history until now. Hold on, I answer all your questions once I finish dealing with this brother. So understand, right? It said we're gonna serve. No. But same thing. Right. So understand, right? It said we're gonna serve our enemies, right? So this going from slavery up until now, right? Because in slavery, we were serving them in the field, right? Now today, plantation, it's right by working, right? It's a different plantation, but we got the same masters. It's the same masters, right? Because guess what? Exactly, right? So it says, so understand, right? So it said we're gonna serve them in hunger, right? So serving hunger. Do we own any of our own food? Do we grow our own food? Right? And for our brothers who do grow their own food, right? They got land. Don't they gotta pay taxes on their land? Right? And guess what? That means you're not in Christ in Matthew 17. He said if you give money to man and not the Father, then you ain't free. Because guess what? If you miss that payment, what happened? The IRS is coming to get that ass. Right? So understand, it says also in thirst, right? We don't own the water we drink, right? So let's think about it like this, right? I want to think about it like this. So back in the old days, right, the rivers would be clean and you would just go and drink from the rivers. There is a river, the Hudson River, that goes from the top of New York to the bottom of New York. Can you imagine how many, imagine if that river was clean and people could freely drink from the water. Right? Imagine a world like that, right? But that's not how it's designed. The water's polluted. Why? So you have to go and buy water, right? Right? So think about it. If you own a house, right? You have to be worried about how much water you use. Why? Because you have to pay water, right? In thirst, right? So in food and in thirst, right? And it says in nakedness, clothing. Think about how many of our brothers die over dumb ass clothes, right? Families go into poverty for dumb ass. But think about this, right? Brothers kill each other for Jordans that don't fit them. For sneakers that don't fit. Right? And that's the thing about it, right? Right? And these,
We'll go to Gucci.
and you know what's the crazy? And the craziest thing about that, those companies look down on us, right? To them, they're like, why your black ass in Gucci? Right? Tommy Hilfiger has come out and said, racist statement. Balenciaga has come out with they've come out with demonic, like child trafficking, right? Promoting pedophilia, all types of wickedness. So why are we into that? Why are we into that? Bingo, how you doing, brother?
Nah, say it again.
What's good? What's good, brother M? Come back to these law, statutes, and commandments. Because the Lord gonna sing your name, and you want to be walking into the kingdom, brother. Right. So guess what? And it says, and in want of all things. So guess what? I want an education. Who I gotta go to? My enemies. Right? So understand, since we're gonna serve our enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my enemy. my friend is my people. Right? That's my friend. That's right. Don't, like I said.
Yeah. What's up?
Can't. Right? Your people can become your enemy, right? But let's read on, right? So we keep reading.
Yeah. Right? And he, you listening, King? And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So I want you to think about that, right? So right. I was about to say repeat it one more time.
Right? And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So who put so the yoke of iron, right? That's a chain, right? Like the way you would collar a dog. So if we look in time, let's go look in the past, right? We were in slavery, right? And we were in chains and bondage, right? This is not just, right, the European, the Edomites that came from Europe. These are, right, we have here in this chart. Can you flip that for me? Right? Who you would know today as the Arabians, right? Who you would know today as the people of the Middle East. They enslaved us and had us in slavery. So that's what those yokes of iron is talking about. People who had us in literal slavery. They are our enemies. So who's our enemies according to the Bible? Right? The white man. Right? Yeah, you can say, I say it if you don't want to say it. Right? Right? The white people who enslaved us and everyone who participated in our slavery, right? Getting money off, guess what? Because we would be what we considered today stock. Back in the day of slavery, right? How many slaves you had determined your worth. Because guess what? I could sell my slave. Say if I had 300,000 slaves, right? can sell, right? I can just mortgage my slaves essentially. I can loan you out because we built this, right? Because exactly, lease them. I can loan you out to a railroad company. I can loan you out to this stone masonry company, right? And guess what? So instead of having to pay workers and pay them a living wage, yo, you got free labor now, right? You just got to send me my money my way. So we were wealth at a point, right? But continue reading that because it said we, that yoke of iron until what?
Until he have destroyed.
Until we have to destroy as a people. So guess what? Now, because you brought up that we have this trauma on us, right? That trauma is from slavery. Because people like to say, oh, slavery existed since the beginning. But not the kind of slavery we went through. Do you understand the atrocities that we went through? Men were, but it was called buck breaking, right? They would rape you in front of your family, right? In front of your son, right? Emasculate you. They would rip babies out of stomachs, right? And then even after we were free, right? So-called free, you get in the South, you get what's instituted, the black codes, right? Right, this is before, we talk about Jim Crow. Before Jim Crow, there were so-called black codes. You literally couldn't be black, so-called black, and do certain things, right? Even down South today, those black codes are still implemented because they're what's called sundown towns. Right? And Mississippi, right? But that goes into those black codes, right? Those people, right? They never left, right? Because guess what? There's a reason why in the KKK and all that other stuff, why do you think they wear masks? So your guys don't know who they are, right? Like a supervillain, right? So let's continue reading. Let's continue reading these scriptures. Give me Deuteronomy 28:64 now.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people, from one end of the earth even to the other.
So guess what? We're going to be scattered, right? So we're going to be everywhere, right? There's a reason, right? Right? Because even from the top, from here in America to South America to the far end of the earth, you're going to find something, you'd be like, oh, that brother look Asian, but he got an afro. He talking about but he got an afro. He got a big nose, he look like me, right? You go to Australia, you talking about good day, mate. You like, hold up, brother. Should be dapping me up. What you talking about, good day, mate? Right? But we everywhere, right? We everywhere, right? But that's a curse because guess what? Shouldn't the family be together? So we all family. So it's a curse that we scattered, right? Because in those places that we scattered, if you look at the people who are at the bottom of those societies, it's the dark people, the darker people, sister. Come hear these words. We're Israelites, sister, right? Right? We on the bottom, right? So keep reading.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
So Moses, but hold on, right? So we not, right? So understand, Moses was seeing things in this, right? Moses was shown the future. So he knew that wood, right? That's the Christianity, right? Because guess what? You look everywhere, they got that wood, and what do they do? Throw it in your face. Even during slavery, right? Before the times of the conquest, what did they do? They put the cross in your face, bow down to God, or die, right? Even when we all go to more modern times, right? They put the cross on your lawn, burn it, and guess what? You got about 60 seconds to run out your damn house, and hopefully you don't get not even just lynched, right? They do all types of wickedness to you, right? But then it also says the stone. Look right here, brother. That's the cobblestone, right? Brother, come look, right? Because I heard you say you from the tribe of Ephraim, right? You so-called Puerto Rican, right? So understand, right? Those other gods, you might have had like a grandmother, right? She got the candles, right?
Yeah, White Mary on the head.
Right. All praises, right? But you might know people, right? Right? They into the brujeria, right? You might have been scared to date some of your women because you like, oh, like if I do her wrong, guess what? She gonna be there with chicken bones and right? She gonna try to do all types of wickedness to you, right? But those are those new gods, right? Those are the devils. God, those are the damn spirits. No.
I've learned not to lead it that
So,
whenever we're not the man that
right.
I don't want to start a
No. Because I think I know what you're going into. Where it's talking about the cross is the energies, earth, wind. But that's
not even that. I heard it was something totally.
So hold on. So before we get into that, right? Give me first Timothy 4. Right? Actually, nah, give me Colossians.
Because we always do this.
That's good. You know what I want.
I mean, I know y'all probably don't. So we always do this. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody that I know does this.
But that's that indoctrination, right? Because guess what? Well, in our society, guess what? We live in a so-called Christian society. Right? So understand that goes part of that trauma, right? Because guess what? We knew during the time of slavery, I gotta follow what master said, right? Because guess what it was? It was a survival tactic, right? A lot about guess what? Even in Texas right now, right? Because guess what? Under the 13th Amendment, there's still slavery, right? 13th, right? If you're in prison, right? You're still property of this. You can look it up. Slavery is abolished except if you are in prison, right? That's why it says when you're
a ward of the state,
right? You're property of the state, right? You're a ward of the state. So down south, they still got plantations. So you get arrested, your ass gonna be picking cotton. So a lot of brothers they think, man, they ain't gonna get me. I'm tough. They got ways to break that ass.
Come on!
they're gonna get you.
Right? They're gonna get you. But
God.
Right. Finish your verses, right? But understand, right? So don't even go turn down the 60. Give me 65.
Verse 65. In among these nations shalt thou find no ease.
So that's why our people, you see us working them long. Brothers be like, I got a 12-hour shift. I got a 16-hour shift, right? That's why, like you said earlier, man, you get off work, you stressed, man. You smoke, you this, you that. It's ways to lead you into sin. Reread it.
Right? Neither shall thy soul of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee a trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind.
Keep reading.
And thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life.
So understand this, right? Our people not the ones killed in the streets. Right? Think about that. We get killed in the streets, right? We work the longest out. We don't have no rest, right? And the Lord said He's gonna give us, we're gonna be scared, right? When the police walk by, you feel a little tense, right? You feel a little uncomfortable. Why? Because you know the history of police, right? Even if you look into the history of the police, they're originally slave catchers. So there's always going to be that level of uncomfortability because it's rooted in our oppression, right? Even when not going to have rest, right? You'll be like, damn, man, why can't I get that better job? Or why I got to work twice as hard? It's madness, right? And we get killed, right? It's not even just us, like our kids get killed, our women get killed. They don't have no discrimination. I just read an article that it was a police officer, praises he lost his job, but he arrested a 10-year-old child. And this is a case of mistaken identity. How do you look at a 10-year-old child and go, that's a grown-ass man?
It's a
right?
kid right there, look.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They're right. We got a young king right here, right? 10-year-old, right?
Crazy.
Right, you know, brother not a man yet, you know, your voice is a little high, but that's all good, right? You're gonna grow and be a strong man, but anyone with eyes can see that's a young man, right? What do? They treat our young men like they men, right? I don't know if you ever heard of the case of the Central Park Five, right? They were tried like men.
Bring it out, my
Right?
lord.
And they were, right? And their lives were destroyed because guess what? Now they go through the prison system, right? Now your mind is indoctrinated, right? You're not the same after you live 30 years, 3 meals in a cot, someone telling you when you can use the bathroom, right? You institutionalized, you showering with other men, right? And a lot of our brothers don't even know that's not the first instance of that happening. There was a case in the 1930s and there was the Scottsboro brothers. And it's eerily the same thing, a group of brothers who are accused of rape, and they get a bunch of them get jailed only to be later declared innocent. So understand, we don't have no ease, trembling our heart. There's no, because guess what? At any given moment, you like, dang, man.
A lot of the times, in my opinion, us black folk are made examples of. So, like, for example,
Right.
If we as a collective start to rise up,
They're murderers.
somebody gotta die.
Right. And
So
now,
y'all can shut the fuck up.
now give me Deuteronomy 28:68. I'm glad you brought that out, right? Let's break, right? But after this, I'm gonna start giving you some commandments, right?
Verse 68, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now the Israelites, right, under Moses, when we were in Egypt, what were we? We were slaves, right? We were slaves in Egypt, right? Right, you bring that out real quick? Right, so during the time of Moses, right? When we were in Egypt, the Israelites, so at first, right, our forefather Joseph was there, right, and we all mobbed there, right, and we started growing, right, we started, you know our people, right, we just multiplying.
Of course.
Of course. Right, so they knew what they had to do, right, they were scared. Read it.
It's the book of Judith, chapter 5, verse 11. Therefore, the king of Egypt rose up against them and dealt subtly with them and brought them low with laboring and break and made them slaves.
So guess what? Didn't we see that in America? Right? Brought low, made slaves, got to build everything, right? You said you are from the tribe of Ephraim, right, Puerto Rican? Even there, right? They had y'all in the tobacco fields, in the sugar plantations, right? The gold mines, right? Man, y'all got some beautiful land over there, right? Beautiful beaches. How is it that the people who can't stand in the sun are in that hot climate and the best places? But if you go to the Barrios, right, in the mountains, y'all live in Florida, right? Our people, right? So go back to Deuteronomy 28.
And the Lord shall bring thee into slavery again with ships.
Right? We're going to go into Egypt again, right? We're going to go into slavery again, right? With ships. But hold on. But how do we get it? It said we're going to get here with ships. That's going into the slave trade, right? Because weren't we the cargo, right? And people today would be like, oh, if we were slaves, if we were cargo slaves, oh, well, where's the cargo? Where's the slave ships? We were cargo slaves, right? In fact, so those same cargo ships that were meant to transport large amount of barrels, it's the same difference, right? So it's not like anytime you see one of those big ships, like old-timey ships in the harbor, those are the ships we go on, right? Those big so-called they're called yacht ships, right? Those big sailboats, but those are the slave ships we were on, right? You just would be under the deck, not seeing the light of day, right? And it's not just us being sent here to America and South America, but right, our people, the Northern Kingdom, right? They would be shipped to Africa, they'd be shipped to Europe, they'd be Spain, right? The Middle East, everywhere, because everyone was participating. Why do you think how much money they made off the slave trade? Why do you think America got so rich? Because everyone was with it, right? Read on.
By the way, whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies.
Right, sold to our enemies for what?
For bondmen,
Slave men,
and bondwomen.
slave women. So our women who think, oh man, I'm gonna go get me a white man. Guess what? You listen. They think, oh man, I'm gonna get me a nice white man, I'm gonna cozy up, man. And then later on, this white family don't like me. Well, right? Well, let's look at ye old in history. Right?
And no man shall buy you.
So when that says no man shall buy you, right? That means no man is gonna save you, right? So here in America, right? You brought up a good point that you said when we try to rise up and save our people, unite, they make example, right? Fred Hampton killed, right? Brutally. Black Panthers to this day are still political prisoners, right? Not seeing the light of day, right? They're not getting out of prison. They're going to jail for the rest of their life, right? Actually, and that's a good point you brought up the main example. Have you ever heard of the MOVE program? Right. So in Philadelphia, they had the MOVE program, right? They say, all right, we're gonna go back to a more natural state of living, and they bought buildings, right? The buildings were legally theirs, right? But they're preaching unity, right? They're not preaching division, right? They're trying to unite their people. Let's love our sisters. Let's come together. Let's get our economics up. You know what they did to the people there? They literally dropped bombs on them. Right? That is actually the last time in history that the U.S. bombed its own citizens. Right? When it was time for our people to be killed. In Philadelphia.
They bombed the whole block.
They bombed, and then not even that, and the fire burned, and the fire spread, right? And then people like to think, oh, it's just the police. The fire department don't like us either. Because you think there was, like in 9/11 when it was all the fire department running. And they, oh, we got to stop this fire. No, there is no Smokey the Bear. We were killed, murdered, right? And then even if on the island of Puerto Rico, have you ever heard of the Puerto Rican independence movement?
Yeah.
Right, so you know about Pedro Campos.
Yeah.
Right, so he was made an example of, right? They killed him in the prison where they actually irradiated him, right? They poisoned him with radiation. Right, and then you know what they did when they was trying to prove, right, the Puerto Rican, the people of Ephraim, right? Because they were like, these are signs of radiation poisoning. It's not regular, like his skin is eroding, right? They can't, right? Clear signs, but they got scientists, right? They ain't getting no outside scientists, right? Someone, you know, put a gun to his head, said he's all right, right? Right, and then even if. Right, they made an example out of you. I couldn't wave the Puerto Rican flag for so many years, right? So understand, right? So we understand, and that's how we know that we are the children of Israel, right? Through these curses.